Anyone know what's new in the gold saucer? Hang up. Cool. That side is done. Hell yeah. Okay, now we have to figure out why the forum is being so callous to everything. Exit the annex to the right and you find the archives at the western edge of the woods. Please stay here for a while, Cohh. It's so good. Oh, this music? Yeah, this music's really nice. Damn. It's not a weapon you see often. Oh, you can. That weapon's a buyable weapon. That's the one thing that I don't like about games that let you buy skins and stuff. That's the one, like. Hey, fat cat. I really loved back in the day, like in EQ, when you saw someone with an incredibly badass weapon, you know they worked for it because it was no drop and they had to loot it off something really difficult. I really miss that in games these days, where the only way to look awesome was by like really working hard at the game for it. I mean, you can buy it on the AH. Well, still, I mean, even then, you know, same thing. Dispatch the Troll. I remember how to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alize and Alpha will help me continue my search for this tax open general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Yeah, I do kind of like the epic weapons. What are they called? Artifacts? Ultimate weapons? Those look pretty cool. Yeah. Has to be defined and study the relevant weapons. Relic weapons. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Relic. Charlian started as a ship gone astray with a teleportation spell. Kind of cool. Aliak. I'll put this up here for the... Oh, wait, can I move this? Make that bigger for those that want to see it. You want to read it? Emporium. It'll shark. Oh, interesting. Okay. We have to read it on relevant subjects. Let's go down the left side first, then we'll do the right side. Mobile users reading this? Yeah, sorry, mobile users. That's a bit tough. Music is great, dude. Oh my god. There are few indeed who can explain in satisfactory detail why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It's because it's not. Obviously, the world is flat and the sun revolves around us. What is this heathenistic BS? BLG says joking about the music? Am I joking about the music being good? No, this music is amazing. This is awesome. I love this man. Very chill. Fantastic guitar work. Fantastic finger work. It's very comfy. It's so, dude, it's so cozy. This is some cozy vibes right here. This entire music is a vibe. All of it. Every note. Oh, there were some people on YouTube that was saying that whenever a character says despair, the fact that I do this is absolutely ruining it for them. And in fact, one person went as far to say is that this entire playthrough has been great, except when he ruins cutscenes with that soundbite. So what I would like to say is, in response to that, I do what I want. Thanks for watching. Cool. Wait, at the designated location. Uh-oh. That's right, Suzu. I wanted to make sure it borrows at least a few promising volumes. Alpha and Crow should be along shortly. I was delayed in a similar fashion. As far as I can see, no titles in the Archon stacks mention the final day specifically. Okay. Would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read and study. Some hot tea. You miss your home, don't you? Difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Sharlayan, we were not to be allowed across the threshold. Jesus. Dude, what an ass. We'll mend this rift one day, I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family, or do they not live in here in the city? Well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlayan, yes, but I was born rather farther away. In the southern reaches of Isilbard, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelt in Corvos, the coastal region opposite the island of Thavnair. The Alligans founded a city in that fertile land and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Mikote to serve as laborers. Oh. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Fourth Emerald Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and when the Fifth Calamity froze the seas solid... Interesting. Many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, and that they might prevent the remnants of Alligan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Garlean rule? The past 50 years, yes, some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces, but Garlemald renamed the region Locus Amonis. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the noble house Darnus. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Alligan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. Sometime already, voices have been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Alligan eye no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Allag. As the last child born with the Alligan eye, I was given over to the custody of friends and the students of Baldesion, who had me registered as a Sharlayan citizen. Wow. Damn, dude, he's got some history. Regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity, the outsiders can even earn the vaulted title of icon. Divide by zero. All I want for Christmas is go back to variety streaming. Dude, we're on the way. We're in the final stretch. This is exactly why I have such a love for this country and why I wish to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. We got Halo coming up soon. I may even start Chorus in the next few days, to be honest. We'll see. You're here. Another good reason to get to the bottom of the forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Yeah, I'm going to be doing this all day today, but I may even do Chorus tomorrow afternoon, maybe? Like, we'll see. I don't know. I'm not really in a rush to finish this. I'm just, like, super excited to play it, so... yeah, we'll see. And yeah, Halo Infinite's in 5 days, so... yeah, the more I've thought about it, is like originally in my head, I was kind of like, I'm just going to play this for like weeks and finish it. But then I was like, but then when I'm done with it, I'm not going to have any FF left to do. So maybe I'll just kind of take my time with it a little bit, you know? Hell, maybe I should start with Chorus tomorrow morning. And then do Final Fantasy in the afternoon. We'll see. I don't know. I'm going to think about it. Well, I must say the pickings were quite some indeed. Mistress Kral had already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the Umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarat firsthand, and I fear I may be overlooking critical details. Hey, Wodrick. How you been, bud? First things first, what kind of phenomenon did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? A complete destabilization of creation magics. Chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their powers to creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashions. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Ishtola surmises that the closest known magic is that of summoning rituals propagated by the Asians. Promulgated? That's what I meant. Promulgated. That's a real world that real people say. Is there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? Okay, your prom. That's right. They say began with a keening sound from the land itself. Ah, yes, the Emmer team spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear this sound ourselves, of course, just as we were into the midst of madness. But it seems that each and every day one of the catastrophes was preceded by the ominous noise. Eventually it resounded all across the star, and not even Amarat was spared. The ground was crying out, you say. To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive and probably quite loud. Not wrong. I have to speak with one of Nominen's mammoths, and after any books which make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? They summoned Zodiark first. He knocked Dalamud from the sky? Oh, if you're saying that, I feel so bad. You're... Yes, with Elidibus serving as his heart, so many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiark brought salvation to the star, only that his godlike will, where the laws of nature set aright. Then once the balance was readdressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Lives sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiark a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had Venat and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. I may be clueless to Final Fantasy, but does every expansion deal with a star dying, or are they in one star but jump to other planets? Suliari, in the lore of the game, Zodiark, the guy they're talking about, was smoten by Hydaelyn, and when he smoteth him, the world, the source, got split into 13 different versions. They call them shards, and they call each shard a star a lot of times. And what's been happening is those stars have been being absorbed by the source over time. So a lot of stars have already died. In the last expansion, we prevented the first shard from being absorbed by the source. And what we're talking about now is the original source before it split, and the history that kind of led up to that. Yeah. So the first star, the source star, we'll call it the ancient source. The ancient source was dying, and to prevent that, they summoned Zodiark. Zodiark fixed that, but caused a bunch of other problems. So they summoned Hydaelyn to bind Zodiark. And when Hydaelyn smote Zodiark in the ancient source split into 13 shards, one of them being the day's source, the regular source. And then the 13 etheric forged variants. Yeah. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder. And then each of the different shards had an etheric focus, an etheric footprint. There was 13 shards and then the source, so 14 total. Yeah. And every time a shard gets absorbed by the source, that's a calamity. And we've had 7 calamities so far, and we prevented the 8th in Shadowbringers. Yep. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telephoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing in those towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by the unstable creation magics? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech? This is a question I've been wondering too, because the final days on the ancient source were the uncontrolled powers of the ancients. But we don't have ancients anymore. And we don't have powers to uncontrol. So it's like, how are they going to recreate the final days if there aren't a bunch of super powerful beings around to then cause their magic to uncontrol, right? It's strange. But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return our attention to the forum, shall we? Cohh, smile, you know? No, you don't. We should keep an eye out for Ishtola, but 'tis time we begin studying these research papers. Guys, there will be a test at the end of the stream. Please keep that in mind. Take notes. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced 1 or 2 possibly useful books. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Urianshe learned of the source's reflections from the Giran oracles, for its potential to cause panic and confusion. That tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Google Library. It's even less likely that the knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason then that my colleagues be they archons or counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you confronted Master Horshino with knowledge of the Telephoroi and his machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us, which only supports a conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. Hey, quick question for chat, because I see some people just talking about lore. One of the shards they tried to absorb into the source, but I remember them mentioning that it instead was turned into a void. Does anyone know what that was about? The 13th. So the 13th didn't get absorbed by the source? Or did it get absorbed and become the void? They accidentally destroyed it, so it didn't get absorbed. Cloud of darkness from Crystal Tower. Yeah, I remember that. So, because one of the shards didn't get absorbed, do we even know if they could get, like, is it possible that they couldn't even do what they wanted to? Like, maybe because they ruined that one, they can't really do anything. Like, what if they just absorb what if the 12th gets absorbed and, like, nothing happens? And yeah, I don't think it's possible to fully restore the world. The 13th was turned into the void. They tried to do the same they did with the first, but they went too far to the point it could no longer be restored. Saying more might be spoilery to some side content you haven't done yet. Okay. They said they have to fix the 13th before they can reabsorb it. Oh, so it's not... Okay. Emmett said the plan is just give strong souls over to Zodiark and he will restore it. Yeah, okay, lots of... Interesting. Okay, anyway. You were thinking of leaving, weren't you? There's plenty of work for everyone. By the way, you know what? I have been thinking about it more. And my lack of needing to rush this. I think we're going to play Chorus tomorrow morning. Because I really want to play that game. I think we're going to play Chorus tomorrow morning, and then we'll do more Final Fantasy in the afternoon. Let's do that. And we're still going to play this all day. But I think I want to do that instead. Yeah, let's do that. What's Chorus? It's a really cool looking space game. Yeah. Is this out? Yeah, it came out today. Until something happens in this and you get hooked. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm already hooked. I already, like, that's the thing. That's what I've been thinking about. Like, I'm already super invested. I just don't need to rush it. I just don't need to rush it. This isn't like, I honestly think that my mind was still kind of in the mode that I'd been in the last 2 weeks, where it's just like, gotta go fast. And now I'm finally here and I'm like, no, I don't have to go fast. I can savor the flavor. I can enjoy it. So like, yeah, it's actually okay. And that way you guys can do your playthroughs and not get spoiled by my playthroughs as well. Yeah. This music is beautiful. It is. It is. That gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask questions engaged in mood of the city? Okay. Perondier. Okay. You know the Teleferroy. Wait, you're that House Levieux girl, aren't you? And this man with you is obviously a foreigner. I heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge your barbaric whims, and here you are giving further truth to the rumor. I have not to say to the likes of you. Oh, great. Cool. Oh, good call, Julia. I definitely want to do more fates in this one. I didn't do like any fates leveling up. Hey, we're at 2. Dick on! Ooh. Is that Mistress Alize I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of The Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion in between lessons at the studio. Seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphino had set sail for Eorzea, but that you never came back. What's this guy's name? Dickon. Lately, the gossip's been about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything all right at home? Oh, yeah, it's fine. It's just my father has disowned us. But I mean, you know, it's mostly cool. Yeah, I was going to say big no. Big no. It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Don't you do it remotely sensed. Well, it is House Levieux. No matter how discreet Master Flaugier may have been, news of your family's doings never stay secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now, of all times? Is the expansion not voice acted? A lot of it is, but a lot of it isn't. Yeah. I'd say so far it's been like 30, 70, 40, 60 voice acted. If you have questions and only Charlene has the answers, tell me, Master Dickon. Have you heard of anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? Here at your humble cafe? Any idea how far Cohh has proceeded through the story in percentage? Oh no, nobody knows. No one's beaten it yet, Vatos. What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And what's that you're here to find information on? Yeah, whatever you can learn. Unfortunately, your patron appears to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I could do to help. Maybe there is. You're a visitor to Charlene, aren't you? And if you will know your face, we should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders, struck up some friendly conversation about the end of days while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Hey, here's your bagel. So how about that apocalypse, huh? Huh? Yeah? Yeah? What do you think? Yeah? That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'm explaining where each of these dishes need to go. Oh God, I said pay attention. The tea set is for the chatty group by the water's edge. Tea set by water's edge. Omelet is for one of our regulars, Islander named Gissa. Okay. Tea set, water's edge. Omelet, where there can be only one. Oven baked lobster. Oven baked lobster? Oh. Not oven baked lobster. Tele who? Oh, sorry, I've never heard of them or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about the ritual arcane practices of the 6th Astral Era, common or esoteric, I'd be happy to talk your ear off.